Welcome viewers who are watching us here on Jagstick TV on our program Watch, Listen and Learn. Again, we have come back with Mr. Regan. So, Mr. Regan, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
My
coming
pleasure.
once again.
Mm.
The other time,
Mm.
I think you left them in a space when you talked about. I remember asking a question about that. Why is it that the school, the education system most especially in Uganda, is there any impact that it has done in the lives of the people when to bring out their motive, the self-esteem?
Just like I said last time, the education system has played its part.
Okay.
Like I said, it is important. We can't neglect it or say it hasn't played a role in helping someone finding their destiny or self-esteem.
Okay.
But number one, when we look at the education system, for example, which is in Uganda, it is more of acquisition of knowledge more than wisdom. So when we talk about knowledge,
Yes.
it is acquisition of data, the facts. But then when we go to wisdom, it is the application of the knowledge and the experiences. It involves critical thinking, emotional intelligence, the intuition, and you find that the school is not able to do that in someone's life.
There is something whereby you find that someone, when he's educated, when he stands up to speak, he dominates, saying, "You, what are you talking about? Me, I'm educated. I have books, man." Isn't also that it has? Don't you think it has helped someone to have also the self-esteem like in that area?
No, now when we talk about the self-esteem, we are talking about the inner person.
The inner
As
person.
an individual, do you believe or do you know your worth? Do you believe in your abilities? Then, for example, a child who has come to school and they have issues at home, for example, there are parents who tell their children that you go to study because you're poor, you have to study. And that child, their mindset has been set or tuned in the slavery mind that for them they are studying to acquire money, they are studying to come out of poverty. And that destroys their self-esteem. They feel they are not like any other person in the community. So when we talk about the self-esteem, we are mainly dealing with the inner person. Do you know your worth? Do you know that actually you're a different person? You've also been called to do something different in this world.
Now let me ask this question. So can self-esteem be born? Can someone born with it, or it's just being acquired from outside?
The self-esteem is we get it from the experiences or the life we go through. Many things mold the self-esteem.
So it's not you cannot born with it.
You have to, you get it from many experiences. For example, the love of your parents. A child who has been with the parents and they have loved them right, they are different from a child who has not been born with the parents. They have not they have not acquired that love, the parental love.
Yes.
And that's why you find very many people going to want to find relationships because they feel they want to be loved. They want to know how love means, but only because they have missed that part. And you realize that you can never have a healthy relationship unless you have understood what love means, because that's why many people we end up with narcissists in relationships, because they have not tested what love means, what true love means, what a healthy relationship means. So it is literally through the experiences we go through, the thoughts you as an individual build, or the things you have been able to hear through the years, through the time. So they build you. For example, but then also we have negative self-talk as an individual. We find that an individual, when they look into the mirror, they start to think they are not good, they are not beautiful, they are not handsome, and then that also builds their confidence. That also like puts them in another place. So literally, it's about teaching people to firstly appreciate who they are from within, because the school, like you said, the school has not taught us to apply the knowledge, the wisdom. It hasn't given it to us. That's why you find a student is very excellent in class, but they cannot perform when they go into the field. And the world is result oriented. We don't want your 100% in class. We want results. If I'm putting you in a company and I want you to make sales. I don't want to see on your document whether you go to 100 or what. And that's why actually many people now are hiring people that are not educated that much, because for them they want results. Are you result oriented? But then the school has also played a part.
So you want to mean that now we abolish education, we just remove it?
No, the school has also played a part, because this mind also has development stages, and training you about the skills you get from school, they help you to develop the mind.
Okay.
Like socialization, timekeeping, other things you get them from school. But the most part it has done according to the curriculum they have designed. It has given you the knowledge. It has not given you the wisdom. It has not taught you the importance of intuition. It has not taught you emotional intelligence. It has not taught you critical thinking. It has not taught you many things. You haven't acquired them. And you find that you really need someone to, because they have in school there are few schools that engage you in relationship talk, that even when they are telling you, they will just brush it on top. There are not many schools that can teach you how to handle heartbreaks, how to handle failures in life, so there is a lot to deal with outside school.
Now, how can a school help someone to discover the institution you are talking about?
Yeah, I feel it is important to engage people like counselors, because that is they have understood their role in that area.
But there's counselors, I think there are different counselors who counsels according to different things.
Yeah.
So particularly who? The nature of the counselors.
The counselors, the ones that teach relationships, that teach friendships.
Or maybe having variety of counselors.
Yeah, and there are also general counselors who have broad knowledge. You get? And then there are also, like what we are doing right now, we are not specifically dealing in one area, but we are trying to help someone that actually, as an individual, you need to understand that there is what we call self-esteem, and you build it first. Because when you enter into this life, for example, whether we want it or not, as an individual, they will have to go through a adolescent stage, and then enter 20s, and then they have to start relationships.
Now, don't you think that, Mr. Reagan, that this thing is too broad, someone to come to discover that? Now, okay, tell us how on individual, per individual, to acquire that, to get to know that understanding of the institution.
The intuition. Now, intuition, it is a gift that has been given to every individual.
Yes.
But like I told you, knowledge is power. That is one.
Okay.
You need to first know that you have it. Because, for example, one of the major things that have been ignored, if I go into the life of relationships, is that inner peace. Because very many people have, if you go to social medias, if you are to ask 90% of the people, the most question they have, which person, for example, do I end up with in life? How do I know this is the right person to end up with in life? And one of the highest levels, or the highest experiences, or the highest ways of to know is the inner peace. That even if the individual looks good, they're well behaved, but as long as your heart is not in it, do not go for it. So I feel like there are very many things outside class that you have to learn as an individual, because that peace can judge many things, and when you and some things actually are just a matter of death if you ignore that peace.
There's this thing which they say now like I don't know why I'm dwelling much on education. Like in some societies here in Uganda, when someone, even himself, knows that I'm not educated, it's how he begin to feel that inferiority complex, in him, and then he begin to shy away from everything because he knows that I am not educated. So now, what do you speak in that area? Now, I want you to briefly speak to someone who is watching us here in the camera.
Now,
how to electrify that one, and then we move on with that inner peace you're talking about.
Acquiring a degree or education is not a guarantee to success. It will never be. So as an individual, whether you have acquired it or not, it's never a requirement to success. So as an individual, know that it is always in you there. Success begins with you. You get? Are you understanding that you have value and you have you know your worth as an individual? You should never feel that I have read many books. Therefore I qualify to be a success in this world.
That's a trend.
So it's never about the education, but also critical, because according to the standards of the world, there are certain jobs you will never go for unless you have the document. And then also that's why I am now going back to the question of education. I also feel that it has not trained enough people to become job creators. They are job seekers because you go there to study a profession. You want to be a you want to go to be a doctor, a career, but it has not taught people to be business doctors, to be business social workers, to be business nurses. You get? So I feel like it has only concentrated on training job seekers more than job creators.
Do you think that it is the problem is with the government or those who initiated the education in Africa? They are the problem creators.
There's no one here like there's no one we're going to guilt trap here.
Okay.
Because there are very many systems and structures that can favor us as we grow. Like I told you, education has its part. And then we also have a role as the mentors, as psychologists, as counselors, as social workers to play, as parents, and most importantly parents. Because it matters a lot when you train your child between 0 and 4. When you love them right, when you care for them, when they see that love before, when they see how you do things, there is a way how it molds their mind. Such that when a child is growing up, they don't feel they're missing that love. They don't feel they have to seek validation elsewhere. It should be the place of a parent firstly to tell the child, you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are wise. You get? So you should not wait for the world to describe your child. Because the world is evil. That's the truth. That it can choke anyone who wants to stand out. Because they never want you to be above them. So you need to first, as a parent, make sure that your child feels validated before they are considered into the world. So,
in conclusion, tell someone or tell us. I know that very many people are watching us here. Tell us how to maintain this on a large scale in our country, particularly Uganda.
So I feel it is important to engage students in very many things. You engage the students with the counselors, then engage the students in other activities other than cramming the knowledge or the skills. Then teach them to get involved in the politics, to get involved in the activities outside class, such that they can acquire that experience. Like I told you, wisdom is experience. It is emotional intelligence. Give them time outside class to do other things, such that they can also get an opportunity to discover who they are, their talents, their gifts, because you find that the books have eaten a lot of someone's time. Actually, they eat a lot, because you find that a 50-year-old man is still studying. So you have that time to also as an individual to discover who you are, because it is very important. Like I told you, purpose is fulfillment. You will never feel that you are fulfilled unless you find your niche and then you do it. So as a school, as the government, I feel like it is very important to engage other institutions that help develop the self-esteem of the natives, because it is a very profound thing, because when you understand this, when you know who you are, you can bargain for everything in life.
Okay. That one brings us to the end of our program, Watch, Listen and Learn. And this is the only program that we believe is going to change our country, Uganda.